How's it going, my comic set army? We're here today with Grant Lankard, the creator of Beowulf. How you doing, Grant?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Um, what state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Nice. Is it? Did y'all get snow there?
Yeah, it's been snowing quite a bit actually. I don't know, the weather's been kind of crazy here. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Virginia, but I'm in Florida right now.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you don't have to worry about snow at all then.
Yeah. When I lived in Virginia, I did. We got snow almost every year, but right now, I'm gonna tell you what the weather is outside. We're super jealous. 73 here.
Yeah, 73 would be nice, honestly.
Yeah, see, we'll talk about it after the interview, but what was the creative process behind making Beowulf?
So Beowulf was an idea that I had as a kid because my parents had these Time Life fairy tale books, and one of the fairy tale books was about Beowulf. And I remember the reason why it stood out to me was because it reminded me of like a comic book origin story. Um, and so I kind of made my own superhero named Beowulf, and that was like the character that I would like draw in my notebooks and stuff, like when I was bored at school.
Hmm.
And recently, I always wanted to be a comic book creator, but I got discouraged from doing it just because everybody says, "Oh, you can't make a living doing that." And recently, I just decided, what, I'm going to take the plunge. If I don't do it now, I probably never will. So I put out. So I was trying to figure out what idea I wanted to use for the comic book, and I remembered, that character that I drew in my notebooks as a kid.
Nice. How many? I've got issue 1 and 2. How many issues do you have planned, or how many issues are you planning on writing?
Issue 3 is out on Kickstarter now. It's finished. It just doesn't. It just needs to go to the printer. And then This is a 6 issue storyline. I might need to make issue 6 a little bit longer than the rest, just to fit the whole story in. But yeah, the plan is to make it 6 issues, and then after that, I'm sure there'll be sequels, spin-offs, stuff like that.
All right. Are we fully funded on Kickstarter?
We are officially fully funded, but what I always tell people, some people say, "Oh, you're fully funded. That why are you still promoting it?" Honestly, the way I set up my Kickstarters are to being fully funded just means I'm breaking even on like the cost of printing and stuff like that. So I'm still trying to push, still trying to go out and get more sales.
Um, do you go to comic conventions at all?
I do. There's quite a few here in Pittsburgh. There's Three Rivers Con, there's Still City Con. Then I sometimes go to other ones that are like in the area. Like I've been to Mountaineer Con, which is in West Virginia. There's one kind of in central Pennsylvania called Sci-Fi Valley. So yeah, I've been to quite a few conventions.
Do you have a favorite page from the comic?
I'm sorry?
Do you have
You're
a
breaking up
favorite
a little.
page? Oh, sorry. Do you have a favorite page in issue 1 or 2?
Um, I don't know. The double page spread towards the beginning of page 1 is pretty cool. If you want to show that.
This one?
Yeah. Well, that's right. You have copies of issues 1 and 2. Did you get a chance to read them yet?
Not yet. We are working on it. We're gonna get it done soon. So everybody hit that like, subscribe, and turn the bell to all, so you don't miss the video upload or the review. And I like how you did your ads. How you gave
Yeah.
everybody their square.
Yeah, and there's a special tier in the Kickstarter if you want to get an ad.
Is that still available right now?
Yeah, there's also add-ons if you want to include an ad at the back of the comic book.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. So what's the elevator pitch about Beowulf? I
So
love your comic.
Beowulf, the idea behind Beowulf is Mooney is an 8th century wizard, and he and his owner Hazel have simultaneous visions of a dragon waking from a 1,000-year nap. So they go to track down the reincarnation of Beowulf, who unfortunately has been reincarnated as a 30-something unemployed slacker. Now, so the object of the first couple issues is getting him ready to go up against this dragon.
Nice. So is this dragon coming into like modern day America or
Modern day Europe.
modern day Europe? Okay. Nice. I like it. That explains the first cover.
Right.
I love this cover, by the way. You should make that into prints.
Yeah, I have some prints. I have posters too. If you can look over my shoulder and see the poster.
Yeah. What Comic Cons can people find you at if they want to pick up a copy of the book?
Well, I'm almost. So the next one we have coming up is, I think, Three Rivers Con.
Okay.
What is that? Like, that's going to be, I think, in April, March or April. And that one's going to be really cool. I like that one because they don't have a bunch of celebrity guests. It's more about the comic books. And then I always go to Steel City. I'm trying to think. Erie Con is coming up. This year, I think I'm going to try to branch out a little bit more. I have a brother who lives in Maryland, so I might be at Baltimore Con.
Okay. Where can people find out news about what's your upcoming plans?
So go to monarchpublishing.net, and there's a tab where you can sign up for my newsletter. And if you sign up for it, you'll get a free copy of a comic book. So there's two different tabs. You can either click on, yeah, or you can just do the QR code that's on that.
I don't know if it'll work, but y'all could stop the video and screenshot it and see if that'll work for you.
Yeah, so click on either free comic book or sign up for the newsletter, and you will get regular updates at least once a month.
Nice. What kind of free comic book?
It's a sample of Beowulf and my other comic book, Memoirs of the Morbid. Memoirs of the Morbid is a horror anthology that I do. I do that once a year.
Okay. Tell us about it.
It's an homage to Tales from the Crypt or Vault of Horror, or those old EC comics. It's black and white. It's about 60 pages. I don't know if the next one is going to be quite that long because that was a lot of work to put together. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. If people who are horror fans, it should be up on Comixology or Amazon shortly.
Are you taking submissions, or
Sure.
where can people send their submissions if they have any?
So you can either get a hold of me on Twitter. My handle is at GW Lankard, or you can go to monarchpublishing.net. There's a email address at the bottom of the website.
Monarch Publishing, is that your company or is it your publishing?
Yeah, that's who I publish my comic books through.
Nice. So you're the owner of it? Like,
Yep.
okay. Do you have any other comic books? Any other creators?
So the only other person that I really work with so far is my friend Antonio Brandau, who he helps me with the art on Beowulf.
Okay. I like it. I like his art. It's very clean on the show.
He's pretty good. I got lucky convincing him to work on Beowulf.
Trying to show him something that I think it's not a spoiler just yet.
Right.
Okay. And you said issue 3 is on Kickstarter now. Can they get 1, 2, and 3 together as a bundle?
Absolutely. In fact, I'd be thrilled if people got all 3 issues. Don't worry about being lost in the storyline. There is a well, first of all, you can get issue number 1 and 2, and I did discount the prices on those if you buy all 3. But issue 3 has like a brief summary of what happened in issues 1 and 2 if you don't want to spend all the money to get all 3 issues.
Nice. Um, comic shops. Are you in comic book stores?
Mostly comic book stores in and around Pittsburgh, because that's where I'm from.
Sure.
I think we have plans to find a distributor, but I wanted to wait until we had at least 3 or 4 issues out, just because I don't want there to be, like a big gap in between issues.
How quick is the turnaround for each issue?
So I've been putting out about a little more than I've been putting out about 3 issues a year.
Wow.
So what is that, like
What a-
once every 4 months, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. That's really good.
Yeah, for an independent comic book creator, that's not too bad.
And you fund this all yourself, then take it to Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's something that's a good idea to point out that everything is done for this comic book. That's how I do that. Not to say anything bad about, people who don't do that, but me personally, when I'm looking through Kickstarters, I like to see that the comic book is done when they put it on Kickstarter. So that's how I've always done that.
I agree. So as soon as the Kickstarter's over, you can print it and ship it, and everybody's happy.
Exactly. I mean, it always takes at least a few weeks, just because it takes a few weeks just to get the money from Kickstarter. Then you have to worry about, proofs from the printer. But yeah, uh, I try to get the comic books out as quickly as possible.
Do you use a local printer?
No, actually, there aren't really any good comic book printers around Pittsburgh. The one that I go through is out of Michigan. I go through Comics Wellspring.
That sounds familiar.
I did uh, I did issue number 1 and 2 of Beowulf, and I also did the first memoirs of the Morbid, and I've had good luck with them. They're quick. They have good customer service. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I'm not getting endorsed by them or anything, but you know, for any young comic book creators out there, I would definitely recommend Comics Wellspring.
Okay. What advice would you give to newcomers that want to make comic books?
Oh God, it's so much. The big thing is stop putting it off.
Okay.
Uh, Sit down. There's always going to be a reason. How do I word this? There's always going to be a reason for you to put it off. Like if you keep waiting for the perfect time to make a comic book, you're probably never going to make a comic book. Don't be shy about promoting it on social media, because social media is how people find out about your comic book. Um, Obviously, I have mixed feelings about social media. I think most people do, but for the comic book industry, it's been great because it's a way we have to get our names out there that doesn't cost us anything. I mean, you think about, previous generations like Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, they had to borrow like $10,000 to put an advertisement in the comic book buyer's guide. We don't have to do that anymore. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. Um, what else would I say? I mean, feel free to submit to Image and like the smaller comic book publishers, but honestly, you're probably going to end up self-printing your first your first comic book. So, get used to that idea.
Okay.
That's basically my advice.
All right. I like it. What advice would you give to people that want to run a successful Kickstarter?
Like I said, don't be shy on 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 Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be more, how should I put this? Be more obnoxious than you think is necessary about promoting your comic book. Um, don't start freaking out like, oh, people are getting sick of hearing about my comic book. That's the nature of the beast.
Right. You said in the very beginning that people said there's no money in comics. Is comics your full time, I guess, gig or job?
No, I don't really have a full-time gig, I guess. I have like 5 different full-time gigs.
Okay.
Um, I do freelance graphic design, which is good because I mean, I can use my graphic design skills in making my comic books.
Mhm.
Um, I help set up concerts around Pittsburgh,
I d-
like, like moving speakers and guitars and stuff like that. I also do like ride sharing. And then I have a friend who owns a painting company, and I sometimes help him out as well. So I have like 12 different gigs, which is good because my problem with every job I've ever had is that I get bored with it. So I figure if I'm doing like 5 or 6 different things, I'm not going to get bored with any one of them. Or if
oh,
I get bored with any one of them, I can just do one of the other 4.
right. I was a stagehand for a little while. That's how I met my wife here in Florida. So yeah, it's definitely a fun and interesting job, isn't it?
It's interesting. It's interesting getting to see how like these rock stars live, you know.
Yes. Yep. And we got a stage down here that comes like a packed in tractor trailer and then like folds out and goes up and it's a completed stage.
That's so cool.
It is. The first time you see it, it'll blow your mind. It looks like a transformer. Because when it's packed all up, you would never know between the stage trailer and just a normal tractor trailer.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, just check out Beowulf. I'm assuming you're gonna put the link in the description somewhere.
Yes, I am.
Um, you can always check out my website, monarchpublishing.net. And on social media, I'm Grant Lankard. It's a pretty distinct name, so if you type that in the search engine, you should find me.
Okay.
I think
Is
I'm
that
the only Grant Lankard on any of the social media apps.
really quick? Is that your real name or is that your pen name?
No, that's my real name.
Okay. All right.
If I
Well,
were gonna pick a pen name, wouldn't I pick something easier to pronounce?
this is true, but Lankard is unique and distinct, so I guess that'd be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come talk with us, Grant.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm looking forward.
What? You mean you haven't subscribed to Comic Chat Authority? Oh, come on, subscribe already. What are you waiting for? It's no big deal. Like, man, don't forget to tell him to hit that like button. Yeah, that too. Just subscribe.